What were some of the frictions that you encountered with the course early on? Like, before you had a chance to really develop a deep understanding of what the course was doing?
Well, the frictions, I guess on our pathway, it wasn't as, let's say, like competitive then as, let's say, the journalism course. I mean, what do you think, Troy?
Well, I think one of the frictions for me was, I loved the setup of the school. I loved enrolling in the course and then just having what it felt like were weeks where we could just do what we wanted to do. And I mean, we didn't have any assignments due right away, like the journalism people were, and it seemed like the imagery people were. So we just got a chance to start exploring. I liked that, but one of the frictions was my background. I just didn't feel like I had the knowledge to tackle every subject like I could have as we went week to week. We were like going through so many subjects, and it was just one week after another, something different. And I barely had a chance to explore any of those because I felt like I was always trying to catch up. And I explained that feeling to Jane, and how I just feel like everything was turned upside down. And it was a great feeling because I was just dumped into this world that I had to make sense of myself. I was definitely in over my head in the beginning. And I mean, that's a perfect situation to be in, but it was definitely a friction early on.
To come to this, I mean, yeah, I felt out of my depth for sure, especially on that first day, and it didn't kind of stop. It just kept going and going.
Yeah.
The feeling that we had on that first day, but it was exciting and it was consistent and
definitely.
And it was like a driving force. It was kind of, and I did love the teaching style where they would come in and do a case study and like allow us to debate as students, and I think that was quite good. Where we debate with people and there were like stronger voices in the class, and that was quite interesting. And then we'd meet and talk with others in our class, and I mean, we really needed. It was a real crash course in theorists and theories, frameworks. I mean, they really dumped it in on us, and I mean, I learned a lot. That's for sure. I learned a lot, but I started to debate towards the end, towards the back end of the course, and was able to kind of raise my voice.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, but at first I didn't say a thing.
Okay.
I didn't really say a word, and I was always kind of worried about how I was writing and my communication, and if I was good enough to do the academic work. But I got through it and learned a lot.
Because writing for marketing and writing for that course were two very different things. And I could tell that Jane was surprised when I would do certain things in my writing, and she'd be like, "That you sound like a business person. You sound like a marketer." She's like, "Is that a convention in marketing to use this kind of expression or format your paper like this?" And I'd be like, I guess so. It's just the way I've done it. But so. Rick, what were some of the frictions with yours?
I think that the frictions that happened were because there wasn't enough of a full understanding on what people were going into from the beginning. Because it was like this. At the beginning, we did a lot of projects. We would deliver them, and halfway through one project, we would start another. And, they were overlapping, and you had to work with different groups. And at the delivery of the project, you just kind of moved on. And there wasn't the feedback that you would expect to get so that you would get better, like other courses would give you, courses that you may have done before you did this one. And the whole point of the course is not the result of a project, but the process that you went through by going through that project, and what you learned and the way you thought through it all and how you opened up. And I think a lot of people were not expecting that. There was a feeling of being lost a lot of the time for some of the group, and I would hear it in after a brief was given or after a project finished, or in the group chat that we had on our WhatsApp. There wasn't enough feedback, but that was the point. that is the course. That is how the course works. There isn't going to be a lot of feedback, and the point is not the end result of whatever project you did.
So is that something that you came to understand, or is that something they should have explained in the beginning?
That is something that came up towards the end of the course. There was more explanation on exactly what the deliverables needed to be for the final project. They were vague for a reason. It's like when they don't give you the keys to the door and they don't tell you where the door is, you need to go figure out where the door is. That way, you might trip over something or smell something on the way to finding the door. And that might be helpful for your project. So I understood that. But I empathized a little bit with the students, and it was a conversation that was had with the course leaders, and it was
Multiple times.
Yeah, multiple times. Like they gathered everyone, and it was like, no, you are not going to get feedback on certain things because that's not how the course works. This is how the course works.
Oh, like almost as in protest, they wanted to get feedback.
There was an uprising.
Yeah, there was, and I mean, there were some students that, I mean, it seemed like they may have kind of given up and didn't care anymore.
It's a big title to live up to, Applied Imagination.
Yeah.
So a lot of people...
It was like going through the... okay, I'll just go through the phases of, finishing this. But it was like some people were disillusioned, but it wasn't really warranted, I don't think, because they tried to tell us a lot of times that it's not about the end product, especially when it iterates and it's going to change anyways. And I mean, part of me was like, I understood that, but it's really hard to unstick yourself from the other way of thinking where you have to have something at the end. So
it wasn't about lateral thinking.
Yeah. So I did try. I really tried to marry both.